Huddy Sports presents a live Huddy production. Keep up to date, huddysports.co.nz.
Blocked drains, leaky pipes, don't let plumbing problems sideline your day. Call the team, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Mike has been our sponsor since the very beginning, from quick fixes to full renovations. He's got the tools, the team and the know-how to get the job done right. First time, every time. Local, reliable and always on time. That's how Mike plays the game. Find Mike Pinfold at Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz 027 430 4351. Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Also Google Mike Pinfold Plumbing and let the pros handle the flow.
Hi, Gavin Murphy here
And Cassie Murphy.
from G and Higton Funeral Directors.
Don't leave it up to someone else to tell your story. Do it now when you can enjoy being part of the conversation.
With a prepaid funeral, you can have music, readings and venue all chosen by you.
For your free funeral planning pack with everything you need to get started, go to our website at gnhigton.co.nz/pre-planning.
The Huddy Hui, Huddy Sports captivating sports show. The Huddy Hui covers Wellington Club rugby as well as other sporting topics of debate. Tune in on YouTube during the rugby playing months as host Brad Hudson interviews rugby players and other sporting personalities across the Wellington region and the rest of New Zealand. Catch the Huddy Hui streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube and wherever good yarns are heard. The Huddy Hui live on Huddy Sports. Here at Huddy Sports, we love a good game plan. And when it comes to travel, our go-to is Louise Reddy from New Zealand Travel Brokers. Whether it's a sports tour, a family break, or that bucket list trip, she'll get you there stress-free with all the best deals around. She's local, she's experienced, and she backs the game like we do, and she's a great supporter of Huddy Sports. Look up Louise Reddy at louisereddy.nztravelbrokers.co.nz or email louise@louise.reddy@newzealandtravelbrokers.co.nz. Travel smart and travel like a pro.
Duos like?
Having the last word.
Hi, Gavin Murphy here.
And Cassie Murphy.
And with G and Hickton Funeral Directors, you can. With a prepaid funeral plan, you can make it as relaxed or as formal as you like, with music, readings and venue all chosen by you.
Let our family care for your family. For your free funeral planning pack with everything you need to get started, go to gianhickton.co.nz/pre-planning.
Blocked drains, leaky pipes, don't let plumbing problems sideline your day. Call the team, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Mike has been our sponsor since the very beginning, from quick fixes to full renovations. He's got the tools, the team, and the know-how to get the job done right. First time, every time. Local, reliable, and always on time. That's how Mike plays the game. Find Mike Pinfold at Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz 027 430 4351. Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Also Google Mike Pinfold Plumbing and let the pros handle the flow. Here at Huddy Sports, we love a good game plan. And when it comes to travel, our go-to is Louise Reddy from New Zealand Travel Brokers. Whether it's a sports tour, a family break, or that bucket list trip, she'll get you there stress-free with all the best deals around. She's local, she's experienced, and she backs the game like we do, and she's a great supporter of Huddy Sports. Look up Louise Reddy at louisereddy.nztravelbrokers.co.nz or email louise@louise.reddy@newzealandtravelbrokers.co.nz. Travel smart and travel like a pro. Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai, and welcome to Wellington College for this first 15 traditional between Wellington College and St Patrick's College Silverstream, the two top teams in the Wellington competition, both fierce rivals. Wellington College with 12 Wellington trophies and 12 Wellington titles, I should say, and St Pat's Silverstream with 8, who are the defending champions from last year. Both teams today are playing for the King Gray Memorial Cup, and someone who knows all about the history about King Gray. He's recently done a big project with the Parramatta Plimmerton Rugby Club regarding his jerseys, but also his story out there at Ngāti Toa Domain. Adam Julian, tell us about the great man, King Gray.
Tēnā koutou, everybody. All Black 636 Ken Gray was one of the greatest props in rugby history. He played 24 test matches, winning 21 of them between 1963 and 1969. He was a part of the All Black team that won a world record 17 internationals in a row between 1965 and 1969. He was every bit as good as Sir Wilson Winaray, Sir Colin Meads, Sir Brian Lahore, Sir John Graham, kaumātuas of their generation. But Gray's legacy lived well beyond the rugby field. He was a councillor in Porirua, an advocate for environmental rights, homosexual rights, and later he ran for Mayor of Wellington. There's a strong possibility he might have won, but tragically in 1992 he passed away, aged 54. In 1995, his rugby club Batoni established the Ken Gray Academy to train young players. Gray captained Batoni to 5 Jubilee Cup successes. In 2007, the Ken Gray Trophy was inaugurated for this fixture between Wellington College and St Pat's Silverstream. It was donated by his cousin Paul Hendry, who had 2 boys in the Wellington College First 15 and is here in attendance today. The rivalry stretches back to 1931. Wellington College won the first game by 5-3. All Black Joey Sadler scored the winning try. Since then, they played on 93 occasions. Silverstream had 52 wins, Wellington College 34, and there have been 7 draws, the last a 4-all draw in 1974. With us this afternoon is Phil Cartini, and studying the table, this game could be as close as the 1974 fixture. Both teams prolific scorers, but also having to subjugate themselves to very tricky conditions today.
100%, Adam. Both sides here, electric backs, rampaging forwards. Speaking to teams before the game, they basically can't wait to get stuck in. However, conditions underfoot will be testing. I think there'll be a lot more kicking coming from young number 10 Fletcher Cooper, possibly going from your screen left to right to their bottom right corner. That's where the wind's travelling at the moment. We've had some fronts come through in the last 2 hours. We're bucketing down to rain. You can see a lot of surface water on the top there. So I think the forwards are going to hold the ball for long periods of time at the start of the game to get both teams injected, basically.
And of course, Phil, you were part of the coaching team last year of Wellington College, and in particular that massive win out there at Silverstream last year. Tell us about that performance out there last year, because that was impressive.
Well, that game was just basically swings and roundabouts. There were bouts possession where we were able to hold the ball for long periods of time, which is always important. However, we were able to swing momentum back in our direction with a lovely drop goal from Archie Sims. Probably wasn't his best looking kick of his career, but it went over, and it's worth 3 points, and that ended up being the difference on the day. However, flooding the rucks on the edges got us a lot of turnover ball against the dangerous Drew Berg McLean, and as you can see today here, they've got the dangerous Elijah Solomon in a number 7 jersey. They're covered a jumper.
That Archie Sims drop goal went 40 metres, and Perry Weepu claimed it was the first he kicked in his whole life. Not that beautiful, don't give me that rubbish, Phil, but it was a wonderful game. Archie Sims scored all 4 ways. And this morning I got to meet Jack Robinson, the young lock forward from Wellington College, and his nickname after that game is the Hand of Robinson, because he deflected the last line out that prevented Silverstream from pushing over for a try. It was a magnificent game, Phil.
Yeah, the dangerous thing about the Stream forward pack is they've got a line out 5 metres out. It's almost a guaranteed 5 points, so pressure was on the boys. I was very, very happy with the maturity of the boys to be able to defend their line there. They didn't give away too many penalty advantages. But yeah, Jack Robinson, Johnny on the spot. If there's ever a time to put your hand up, that was it.
And joining us also in commentary today, he's a PE teacher here at Wellington College, and he's just been telling off the students to get out of the way of our camera shot. Ollie Mickey. Ollie, you have been a student here for many years, but also you're a referee. Tell us about the refereeing team this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brad. We've got a trio of Premier referees officiating today's traditional. In the middle is Matt Thomas, who recently did his 50th Premier game, including being presented as Blazer between Petone and Porniki. On the sideline, Charlie Harris, Premier referee, part of the Hurricanes development squad. And at the other end, Ethan Jefferson, a new Premier referee. He's just doing his 5th game on the weekend, and he's a member of the Hurricanes Youth Regional Council squad, along with some mother-hitting commentary.
Yeah, I think that's you, isn't it? So
it would be.
All right, field conditions today. They've turned the field around to what it mainly is when they have the quad tournament here. And it is, as Phil mentioned, there's been a hell of a lot of rain the last 24 hours, in particular the last 2 hours. Field is looking very heavy. This could make it very much a forwards game, Phil, today.
Yeah, I'd say so. This will probably suit St Pat's Silverstream. Wellington College in their own right have put the pedal to the metal of their forwards coaches, and they've done a lot of development. Their pack is a lot bigger this year, and I think that'll help navigate their way around the park. However, I think, ball's going to be held in hand quite a fair bit before the backs throw it around. This will frustrate both backlines, as they both are very electric. But St Pat's Silverstream probably just edging the Wellington College forward pack until they prove me otherwise at the moment.
Both teams coming out onto the field now. Adam, read us out the Silverstream team today.
St Patrick's College Silverstream, founded in 1931, winners of 8 Wellington Premierships. Their fullback is William Davis. He's a year 13 and a vastly experienced counter-attacker. On the wings, Lockie Jackson and Ashton Steer His great-grandfather Dick Steer was a 1930s All Black. The centre pairing is Abraham Smith, a year 13, promoted from the second 15, and Chorus Taylor Laval. The halves pairing are Fletcher Cooper, the youngest player in the game, year 11, and Axel Dakin. The loose forward trio is Osea Manu, Elijah Solomona, the captain. He was actually sent off in the game last year, and Zach McGurran. The lock forwards are Ryder Thompson and Kitione Talipa, and the front row, the burly figures of Taylor Moananu, Riley Brown, and Heath Tuafau.
We'll read you out the Wellington College team soon. In the meantime, we'll turn our mics off and listen to the Huckers.
Mr. Russell, these boys can't be standing here. Would you be able to get them to move down that way, please? Everyone in this closed off area. We need them down either down or on the western side.
Well, the challenge has been set by both teams for this first 15 traditional. Sit back and relax, folks. This is going to be an absolute blockbuster of a game. The Wellington College team today, captain is Charisma Faitala. The wings are Shea Boshier and Fraser Lindsay. The midfield is Strickland Reilly and Davy Teal. First five is Archie Sims. Halfback is Bentley Faulkner. Sacadius Swolger at number 8. Lazarus Webster at 7. Drew Falitolu at 6. The locks are Jack Robertson and Lafano Kamoto. And the front row is Cyrus Iono, Sep Hopkins and Hiram Beetham. That is the Wellington College team for today. Final thoughts heading into this game, Phil Cartonnay.
Oh, I just want to see how the first 5 minutes shapes up. I want to see how both teams handle the ball and handle the conditions. I want to see the ball go through the hands at least a couple of times through the forwards. I think it can't just be one off the rucks. There needs to be a couple of shifts around first 5. I want to see the 10s get involved. And basically, it's just got to be about field position this first 20 minutes. So the boot off both 10s, Sims and Fletcher Cooper, is going to be important.
And Adam for Silverstream today.
Well, Fletcher Cooper is a key figure. He scored 72 points in the last 4 games, but he's only year 11. Massive responsibility for the youngster in the 10 jersey, marking Archie Sims, who has been the benchmark for Wellington first fives this year. He was imperious last Wednesday for Wellington College in their 74-3 win against Rongotai. He kicked 3 50-22s in the first 20 minutes.
Fantastic, in particular 2 tries from those as well. Archie Sims in fine form for Wellington College today. Matt Thomas gets this match underway, and it'll be St. Pat's Silverstream kicking to the western side of Wellington College. Number 1, and picked up here by Jack Robertson. Looks like a bit of a change in jersey number there. He's wearing 4 today. Pushing up quickly now for the home side. They're 10 outside the 22. Silverstream having to defend early in this traditional. The box kick comes from Bentley Faulkner. And underneath it, there's the Wellington College midfield, but it may have gone forward. No, yes, it has gone forward, Matt Thomas has said. Silverstream being bundled into touch. Axel Dakin, who last year played for Upper College, first 15, bundled into touch, but it's going to be the first scrum of the day, Adam.
Good tactic by Bentley Faulkner. It looks like Wellington College have the slight assistance of a breeze in the first half. That was a demanding, swirling kick. Silverstream fumbled it backwards. Kicking so vital in these conditions. The ground is very heavy on top. It looks like fragments of lumpy mince, so it will hold up, and also it will have trickery with the wind.
Ollie Mickey, scrum picture here for the referee today. What were you looking for?
Mainly looking for stability. Wellington College were dominant against Rongotai last week. We'll see how they go against Stream here.
Strong scrum. Wellington College with the push, but Silverstream get it out to Fletcher Cooper. Centre field as the mud already turns those blue and white jerseys to a darker shade of brown. Crashing forward here is Ryder Thompson. Bouncing over halfway. Silverstream had a massive win last week against St. Bernard, 60 points to 3. And Fletcher Cooper, we talked about him at the start of the broadcast, 55 points in the Premiership so far. And he loves to run the ball. And so let's see what he does here today. Fletcher Cooper, ball in hand right now. Gives it back out to Ryder Thompson. Loose pass, it's gone backwards. Picked up by Silverstream. 11 metres inside Wellington College territory now. Into the hands of Heath Tuival. We're in the iconic pink headgear. His brother Connor, who's just been overseas playing 7s, also wears pink headgear when he plays for Petone in Premier Rugby. We've got a penalty advantage being played here for St. Pat's Silverstream. Out to the light, but unfortunately we've blown up for the penalty, and it's going to be an offside penalty there, Ollie.
Yeah, midfield, just Wellington College creeping up there. Looks like it's straight out in front, but Fletcher Cooper looking for the touchline as Stream looks to capitalise on Wellington College's mistake.
There's certainly a bit of wind here today, Phil. It's going to make a little bit difficult for the kicking because we've been used to the southerly for the last 5 days.
Exactly, it runs. It still kind of runs left to right across the screen, but it's coming across the ground now. I think that penalty was possibly in range for Fletcher Cooper, but kind of seen otherwise. It's like our 4-pack's rumbling here. We've got 8 phases to get stuck in. Ryder Thompson, I'm loving the work from him earlier on in this game, and let's see how their line-out goes.
Line out here for Wellington College. Oh, sorry, for St. Pat's Silverstream. Riley Brown, his second season in the first 15 to throw this in. 2 tries in the Premiership so far. Stolen by Wellington College. Rolls off the ankles, but recycled back to St. Pat's Silverstream. And we'll have the ball 10 away from the line. Taking forward here is Solomona, the co-captain of the team today alongside William Davis, the fullback. Chipped through by Fletcher Cooper. And, oh, just bounces on the flag. And into touch, you don't see that every day happen. And it's going to be a line out for Wellington College. Bit of a freaky time there, Adam, for Wellington.
That was an intelligent option by Fletcher Cooper, and one of the things that's been unique about his play is his vision. He saw the gap, he saw the fact that Wellington College had no fullback, and had that ball rolled a metre the opposite direction, that could have been a try.
So, line out here, thrown in by Sepp Hilkins. That's back into the in goal. Managed to get it out just in time. Great work there by Wellington College. Looking to secure this out. Faulkner goes for the box kick. Knocked back by Davis. Managed to keep it in field. Centre field now with Cooper. Cooper runs into Robinson. Gets the ball out just in time. Passing out to Elijah Solomona. He'll be brought down very short of the 22. 5 in from the northern touchline here at Wellington College. And great work there by Wellington College. But unfortunately, Matt Thomas has found another penalty there, Ollie Mickey.
Yeah, it looks like Wellington College just coming off their feet there to win that ball. So an illegal turnover, and Silverstream just outside the 22. Look for another line out. But look for Jack Robinson here at this line out. Disrupted the last Silverstream attacking line out. He'll look to do the same again and hold Silverstream out.
Yeah, just want to be careful here. Second phase, you've got Riley Brown on that blind side. Now, he's not your conventional hooker. He's very, very quick, great on his feet. And in these trying conditions, if forwards can't move laterally, he's going to find holes and find a way through. But Silverstream here looking to attack. They've held the ball for long periods now. This should always lead to points.
So Riley Brown secured at the front. And they take it out to the backs, but Matt Thomas has ruled it not straight, and that in the new rules is a free kick.
It is, and Kamoto at the front went up, created a contest, and that ball was clearly not straight. So a relieving free kick for Wellington College. Archie Sims will look to clear to the northern touchline, and good defence from Wellington College early on under some decent Silverstream pressure.
Kick hasn't found touch, so Cooper passing it back in field to William Davis. His father Carl is the head coach of the team this year, swapping roles with John Herbert, who drops down to the assistant role. Back out to Manu, and smashed back there by the Wellington College defence. Impressive play, under pressure, looking to box kick it. Into the hands of Archie Sims, into what you can see there, folks, is a man in a pile of water here on this Wellington College field. It's the hands of Lazarus Webster. A rather bright-looking hairstyle. Gonna twist through by Charisma Faitala, and picked up well there by Davey Teal. They're 10 away from the line now. Silverstream now having to put in the defence. Here's Hiram Beefham marching forward. And unfortunately, they have knocked the ball on, and Silverstream are going to have a scrum.
Well, that's a reprieve for Silverstream, because that was very lackadaisical attitude getting out of their own half. William Davis went for a wander. He entered the tackle of Schwalger upright, almost got held up by an assembly of Wellington College defenders, and then Fletcher Cooper failed to find touch. Sim zoomed inside the 22. There was some good handling by Hiram Beetham. That pass was on, but unfortunately Boshier spilt it. But this is an awkward scrum position for Silverstream. 10 in terrace touchline, 10 metres out.
Axel Dakin, halfback for Silverstream today. An impressive game against Palmerston North Boys High School, particularly the second half. It's Lowe's pass back to Fletcher Cooper, who does extremely well under pressure and gaining great metres there. And Wellington College will have the line out 15 metres inside Silverstream territory. Embankment side here of the Wellington College number 1. And Phil, pending line-out move, what could we be looking at here for Wellington College?
I think they want to punch through the midfield again. I think Charisma Faitala, great vision there in the last phase to see that the ball needs to go on the ground. It's hard to pick up. Stream have the wind in their face and the conditions against them. However, Stream have actually stifled that line out again, and it looks to be a stalemate currently at the moment.
Ryder Thompson, fantastic steal, palming the ball with his right hand.
Centre field here with Solomona. Rashing forward. It's another penalty advantage out in favour of Silverstream at the moment. This will be the third penalty of the match. Kicked through by Fletcher Cooper. Looking to latch onto it. Oh, they've done well. Jersey numbers making it a little bit harder as this game goes on, but unfortunately, Matt Thomas has had enough. Lockie Jackson unfortunately couldn't get that ball, and we'll come back for the penalty, and Ollie Mickey. Looks like it's another offside. No, it's one of those sternum tackles.
Yeah, well, I think it might even be a high tackle. Matt's arm going up towards his neck. So just a little mistake there from Wellington College and S31, and give Silverstream a chance to get into Wellington College's half. But Phil's right, a stalemate early on. Some good attacking phases putting together by Stream, but Wellington College relatively solid on defence. What you'd expect on traditional day.
This young lad, Fletcher Cooper, is so impressive. Notice how he's kicking off both feet. He kicked for touch there from the penalty with the right foot, but he's already made a left foot kick in this game. Shades of Chase tear about his game.
It's his second season in the first 15. Made his debut as a year 10 last year. Fletcher Cooper was in the second 15 as well. You see year 10 making first 15 rugby. Secured in a roly-poly there for the rock line out. 7 metres inside Wellington College territory, right on the 15-metre mark. Here's Cooper. Back up to Solomona again. Wellington College defence up to the task at the moment. Watch out here. Cooper wants to play expensive rugby.
Good tackle by Kamoto.
And Dakin under pressure. Gives it out to Cooper. Tuivo again. Actually started the season with a bit of an injury pre-season, but he made his return back for Palmerston North boys, securing that front row for Silverstream this season. Here's Cooper again. He's everywhere at the moment. Passing it out to Abraham Smith. Smith scored 3 tries against St Bernard's last week. And unfortunately, he's been held up here, and this could be a turnover for Wellington College. And Matt Thomas has finally ruled it, and that's great success there, Phil, for Wellington College on defence.
Yeah, I think if Abe Smith had his time back again, he would have tried to find the ground. He looked for big contact there. Unfortunately, being a rugby league player, probably in a little bit too high. Won the initial collision, but then was held up by Wellington College. Wellington College looking for anything to try and stem this flow at the moment. Silverstream have had their fair share of the ball.
Abraham Smith is a replacement for Shea Teatua, who unfortunately is injured for the whole season. A number of second 15 players in this game for Silverstream, but we should note that Silverstream second 15 has won the Murray Jensen Cup 4 consecutive years. They're on an unbeaten local streak of 46 consecutive matches, so they have plenty of depth from which to draw.
Of course, Silverstream alongside the Wellington College second 15 didn't have to go through grading this year. That was a first in the college sport rules variation this year for the Premier 2 grade. Both of them contested the final last year, Adam, and looks like both teams in that Premier 2 grade are off to fine form again.
Well, Wellington resurgent in their rugby last year, making the final for the first time since 2017. If they win today, it'll be the first time since 2010 that they've actually retained the Ken Gray Trophy. And in that 2010 game, it was Ope Palesiuma, the New Zealand school centre, Samoan international, threw an intercept pass to Joe Hill.
There's Faulkner at the back, gives it out to Sims, who kicks it down past halfway. Bounces in front of Davis, and he watches it go into touch, and that's a good healthy kick there by Sims, who 2 weeks ago was on the Harihui, episode 145. You can go back and watch that one. His brother George was former captain of the Wellington College first 15 back in 2020, and Archie said that he's the better Sims.
Well, he certainly is. He also played in a game that Silverstream won 46-0.
So, Riley Brown.
Remember, these pictures are free, by the way. Don't watch the Sky telecast. This is Huddy Sports. You don't have to pay for this.
Secured at line-out time by Silverstream through Halepa. And Wellington College have turned it over. And their forwards pile in. Faulkner fires it out to Sims. Centre field with Teal, but unfortunately, that time there, Strickland Reddy couldn't hang on. And we'll come back for the knock-on.
Yeah, unfortunately, hot potato there. I think Strickland Reddy probably wrong type of pass selection. David Teal couldn't hang on. Once you get a turnover, you probably just want to sit in the right end of the field and just try to hang on to it for a couple of phases, get everyone into shape.
Very important man in the background there, Ollie Mickey. David Walsh watching eagerly on.
Indeed, president of the Wellington Rugby Referees Association and works as Wellington Rugby as our referee education officer. Responsible for starting my refereeing career. Good to see him, his eagle eye over. But Wellington College, very dominant in scrum time. Not too dominant yet, but they've got the hit.
Blindside for Silverstream here if they want to use it.
Here's Cooper. Kicks it through. He's really loving that corner at the moment. Just kept in there by Wellington College. And extremely well, rushing off the winger. Advancing over the 22 now. Here's Sakodius Swolger. You would have recognised him, folks. Last year he had a big, massive do of hair. Fortunately, he shaved it off this season. But he's a player that you know very well, Phil.
Yeah, I've coached Fitz since he was a kid. Still looking at that effort there by Faitala. Faitala getting back. Mills Muliaina effort, like almost. Was able to get after initially touching the ball and dropping the catch. He was able to get inside field, able to throw a phase around. You see more box kicks from Bentley Faulkner today, which probably the conditions call for.
Exactly. There's been a lot more by Bentley Faulkner today. Box kicks. His father was also in the first 15 at Wellington College and played for a long time for the Pornicky Rugby Club, where you, Phil, are the assistant coach.
Yeah, Brad Faulkner, legend around these parts. As we see, Fletcher Cooper gets a quick ball in. Now, Silverstream looking to speed the attack up, I think. They've been stuck in their own half a little bit, and they want to get the ball moving.
Here's McGurran. 6 away from halfway. 12 out, back out to Cooper, who's doing all the running at the moment, and they've got the advantage to play with as well. Now it comes out to Ashton Steer. He kicks it in field. They're still playing with that advantage. Oh, referee Thomas nearly got taken out. There's still play here. It's still on. The advantage is over. And Sims just manages to watch it go over the dead ball line. And danger time there for Wellington College, Adam.
That was a charge down by Elijah Solomona. I remember back in 2001, Seminar Manu charged down a kick for Wellington College to win a game here. He went on to play 100 games for OBU, won a Jubilee Cup, played NPC rugby for Southland.
So Sims with the goal line dropout. Did over the top of the Silverstream backs. In hands of Elijah Solomona, who's deputy head boy at St. Pat's Silverstream this year. So just short of the 10-metre mark, 13 in from the embankment touchline. Here's Abraham Smith. And they're around him quickly. Swolger with the excellent tackle. Cooper looks for the offload. Gives it away. Picked up there by Brown. Brown gaining good metres. They approach the 22. Cooper again. Centre field. Big pass out to Manu. Started at 6 against Palmerston North Boys High School a few weeks ago. Here's McGurran, who's wearing a chin strap this afternoon. Back out to Solomona again. Silverstream playing all the rugby at the moment. They kick it down. It's try time. Silverstream have scored. And this is excellent vision here, Adam Julian.
That's a magnificent piece of play by Elijah Solomona. A death kick towards the corner. And William Davis is celebrating a try. It might be Ashton Steer as well. Nonetheless, it's a try for Silverstream. And Solomona, well, Phil, he's become an imperious figure in the game. He's Silverstream's most effective ball carrier, and that piece of play was real quality.
Yeah, Solomona really putting his mark on the game now. He's carried the ball at least about 7 or 8 times now with effect, making meters after contact. Now, adjusting to the conditions, very high IQ rugby player, puts ball to boot. Seen Wellington College struggling in cover defence. I think Faitala struggled to get there in the heavy ground from the other side of the field, and that's the Ashton Steer take his opportunity.
Ashton Steer. 3 tries against Wellington College, his 5th try of the Premiership. He played against his cousin Hunter Kennedy in the Palmerston North game. Of course, Hunter Kennedy's a name well known in first 15 rugby in New Zealand at the moment. The conversion unsuccessful, so the score remains 5-0 here at Wellington College. 17 minutes gone here on the King Gray Memorial Cup Day.
Halfway through the first half, and that's a much needed try for Silverstream. Most of the game's been contested between the two 10-metre lines, but Silverstream have enjoyed more possession and the rare visits inside the 22 from the botched line out. That try puts them ahead 5-0.
Archie Sims with the restart. Sit into the 22, received by Fletcher, who decides to bang it downtown and safely into touch, and so that will be a line out. 5 inside Wellington College territory for Wellington College. Ollie Mickey, Wellington College, what do they need to do to crawl their way back into this game?
They really just need to get their hands on the ball. They've been doing 95% of the defending, and they've been doing a good job of it. A couple of penalties, though, and some smart kicking from Silverstream has them in the lead. If they can just hold on to the ball and put some attacking phases together, then they'll be in good stead. But some good defending and some good work at the line out. Unfortunately, just not straight. Called by referee Thomas, and a very good start after that first try from Silverstream. First, the catch from the kickoff, kick to the line out, and now a free kick.
And an old-fashioned Gary Owen.
Underneath it is Simpson, who takes the mark. And so he'll have the free kick. And Phil, the line-out's a little bit shaky for Wellington College. What have they got to try and tidy this up?
Yeah, it seems to be winning more streams line-outs than their own, unfortunately. I think conditions are really playing their part now. The field's getting very, very heavy. The ball's getting a little bit more wet. I think our game drivers probably need to make some adjustments here on how they're attacking, just to save some fatigue for the rest of the half.
Gee, that was like one from the Ken Gray era from Fletcher Cooper.
Here's Toival. And they swarm around him quickly and push him back over the 10-metre mark. Silverstream driven back 12 metres inside their own half. Centre field, Cooper. Ball's gone backwards, but he's been put under pressure by Strickland Reddy, well known for his aggressive defence.
Axel Dakin obliterated by Jack Robinson there.
And you can see the destruction on the field from that obliteration. Rushing forward is now, the field is turning into a bit of a slippery slide, and it's going to be a scrum feed here for Wellington College. As both teams just exchanged a few pleasantries.
Two rattling tackles in that sequence of play by Strickland Rary, and Phil, that's really his game. Physical, direct, imposing.
Yeah, I mean, that's where his strengths are. I think Stream probably need to add a little bit more footwork as they were doing earlier on in the game, where they found them able to put their nose through. I think they're looking into strong shoulders. The conditions underfoot probably not conducive to the footwear they're wearing, as Heath Tuifau found out. I think he needs to find himself on an outside shoulder a little bit more instead of just running and T-boning.
So, Faulkner.
On the subject of T-boning, I was told before the game that they call Riley Brown the hot stepper. I think a T-bone is a more appropriate description of his sidestep.
Yeah, Riley Brown, you wouldn't be a stranger to a Sevens field anyway. Foley with a good carry there.
There's Sims out to Charisma Faitala. Offloads it out. Good pass out to Shea Boshier. Gets the ball away just in time before he slid into touch. Tied out by Faitala. Leading for the penalty, but Wellington College not getting the rub of the green from Matt Thomas at the moment. They get to Kamoto, centre field with Strickland ready.
That's an important tackle by Brown.
And here's Archie Sims, the man that can make magic happen. What can he do? He manages to pass the ball out, and it's been ruled a forward pass. And Phil, looks like Wellington College just need to get a bit more shape into their game at the moment.
Yeah, once again, it was line speed there that forced that forward pass. It was great pressure. Couldn't see who that was. However, there's two times now they've been into the 22 and they've turned possession over. One with an offload that probably wasn't needed, and now with a high-risk pass. They are going right to left and sending all the defenders that way. Potentially a switchback to the other side will probably help.
And Ollie Mackey. Oh, sorry, Adam.
I was just saying, unfortunately, St Pat Silverstream aren't in attendance today. Some bonehead said they had to stay at school. But I know the 4th 11 are watching. They asked me for a shout-out. The 4th 11 football team, Nishan, Louis, who used to film for Huddy Sports, the legends, enjoy the telecast.
And Wellington College get a penalty from scrum time. Adjustment ward there. Ollie Mickey, talk us through that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Wellington College have had the dominance at scrum time and just there making Silverstream collapse, and an important penalty. Wellington College were very good with ball in hand against Rongotai last week, but even so, these are much more difficult conditions than last week. The fields have been cut up with rugby last Wednesday and 2 games on this field on Saturday. And so that's forcing those errors just at the moment, but a big win at scrum time for Wellington College. And no surprises, they elect to go to the scrum again, although Matt Thomas will move it slightly more centre field.
Really not much room to move it to, is
There's
there?
not much point, but
And
for
these-
now it will do.
And these front rows for Wellington College, Phil, they've been together for a few seasons now, and they've certainly, when it comes to scrum time, know their job.
Yeah, with a scrum coach like John Schwager, I mean, they've got their binds really tight here. I don't know a whole lot about scrums, but I know that they've got talent in front row and all aspects of the game, not just scrummaging. As you can see there, Cyrus Ono holding his side up. Schwager goes left, and Faitala takes a carry.
Itala getting the penalty advantage. Faulkner. Oh, unfortunately knocked on, but they've got the penalty. And this is in a more favourable position. It's 15 away from the Silverstream try line. They tap it quickly through Sakadius Swolga. There's the corner. They got the arm out again. There's Matt Thomas. Wellington College under penalty advantage. Out to Kamoto again. They lunge forward. To the corner. Try's been awarded. And it is Kamoto that has scored the try for Wellington College.
The cherry red headgear, the cherry on top. That try after some sustained pressure by Wellington College. They won a scrum penalty. They opted for another scrum. They had a good platform. They had Silverstream backpedaling. Initiative from Schwalger. Kamoto follows up with muscle. And suddenly Wellington College, after very little territory and possession, are level.
Yeah, Schwalger once again, it's a forte of his game. He'll take the quick tap if they're 10 metres out and he thinks you're not offside. They drew 2 penalty advantages there. Stream probably lucky that Wellington College scored because someone might be going to the bin. But if anything, like Whare Kamoto, proving again, once again, close to the line, he's very dangerous.
And of course, Ollie Mickey, important there was the team of 3 refereeing, in particular Ethan Jefferson making the call there for Matt Thomas.
Yeah, absolutely. Big moment, and Matt and Ethan working together to get that decision right. Wellington College building off the back of that scrum dominance. First the penalty, and then the ball to go to the short side, and an excellent kick from Archie Sims.
What
Wellington
sort
College
of
take
kick
the
is
lead.
that? That is a superb kick by Archie Sims.
Don't forget, people, Archie Sims won Wellington College the Quadrangular Tournament 2023 with his outstanding goal kicking on this field. Of course, got all points in the traditional last year, and the third-year first team player is doing it again in 2025.
That was a stone skimming across the river. What a beautiful strike.
Full house in the traditional last year for Archie Sims. Try, conversion, penalty and a drop goal. And that is 32 points in the Premierships for Archie Sims this season. Pressing forward is Jack Robertson. Short of halfway now. 7-5 to score to Wellington College with less than 10 minutes to go in the first half here on traditional day. Underneath it, doing well that time there is William Davis. Davis works at Yanis Bakery in the weekends, make ends meet. Also one of the other deputy head boys at Silverstream this year. And Tuiva with an uncharacteristic mistake, and Wellington College with the scrum feed and Phil there, Kamoto racking up the troops.
Oh, it's a massive energy change. We look for big moments in the game, and that's one of them. Huge tackle, and Tuifa is an experienced player in his own right. While Whare Kamoto taking some energy from that try and adding it to the defence now. I'd like to see Stream possibly try and find a weak shoulder instead of trying to run straight into players now. You can see Wellington College are wired up for it, but conditions starting to deteriorate a little bit now with a bit more rain coming down.
Yes, the rain has opened up a bit more. They were predicting thunderstorms this afternoon. Let's just hope they don't arrive in time for this game. We're broadcasting from the back of a massive van here at Wellington College, and we're super dry. I'm not sure about the students out on the terraces, Adam.
Well, at least we're not in Auckland like Sky TV.
But how good is it to see the Wellington College boys out there on the terraces, big game, and getting behind their team.
Centre field now. Teal couldn't, with that pass, couldn't latch on to his partner, so the advantage being played here for St. Pat's Silverstream. Been pushed down 7 away from the northern touchline. Silverstream now feeling the pressure after having the solid start of the opening 15 minutes.
Evidently, we've set up a Give a Little page to recruit Tamati back. He's working for Sky TV today. James is doing a sterling job for us, but Tamati, come back to Huddy Sports.
So, reaching in is Dakin. A lofty pass out. Silverstream just finding it tough to crack open this Wellington College defence, but they're going to get the penalty. Talk us through this one, Ollie Mickey.
Yeah, just another advantage for offside there. Wellington College eager on defence. They want to disrupt Silverstream ball. They've been successful on it most of the time, but another offside penalty and just give a chance for Silverstream to relieve some pressure, get downfield. Just going back to Archie Sims and his goal kicking. He was here on Sunday practicing his goal kicking. He's here most weekends, and obviously with the change in field, he was out there practicing his goal kicking. No doubt that was pivotal in ensuring that conversion went over.
A little bit of change of attack from St. Pat's Stream now. They're pistoning up the field. They have basically decided to merge it all together. This is proving fruitful now that they've gotten into the ones and a half. They will need to take points here late in the second half. But another line out lost. There you go, commentator's curse.
Another line out lost there, this time for St. Pat's Silverstream. Ball comes back out to Sims. Unfortunately, that kick just ran into the back of Silverstream player, one of his own players, and accidental obstruction. So a scrum feed here for Silverstream in the 22. A perfect attacking opportunity here for them, madam.
It's an interesting point that Phil raised about the Silverstream attack. They were getting into a habit of just shuffling the ball across, not identifying weaker shoulders, but they've just become a bit more compact and direct, and they're starting to make some headway. I'd like to see that from both teams, Phil. Compact running and more support of the ball carrier. At the moment, there tends to be a little bit of angling across field and not quite as directly forward as it could be.
Yeah, where's the co-captains switch out? You've basically got Will Davis at the 15, you've got Faitala at 15, and you've got two in the forwards with Solomon and Schwalger. So there's a lot of chat going on. I think Solomon has identified we're going to the win first half, and we just need to survive this next 10 minutes and take whatever points we can. I think going through the middle there, two commentator curses in a row. Sims got charged down, going off his right foot, which isn't his favoured boot, and accidental offside sees us in this position here where Stream can take points.
One of the Silverstream players is down in the background, and it's the time off here. He's got two medics attending him at the moment.
I tell you, Phil's going to be around a very long time if he's already diagnosing commentators' curses after two broadcasts. It's a real privilege to have you here, Phil. Thanks for your insight into the game.
Well, so the other thing, you miss Shea Totul. Obviously, he's got a serious leg injury, which we've lost him for the season for Silverstream. And I say and I mean that in a neutral manner. We're also missing Kingston Hill today. He's out for a couple of weeks. He's been a anchor at the back of the scrum and a devastating ball runner. So Silverstream obviously two key players out at the moment, but making do with the replacements on hand.
Yeah, Zach McGurran playing in jersey 6. He scored 2 tries in a 60-0 whitewash of Rathkill. That 6 jersey after the departure of Kingston Hill was up for grabs, and McGurran got his opportunity, and they were so impressed with him. He gets a start on Ken Gray Trophy Day.
Man, a strapping on his jaw. Looks like he's got a smile like Pennywise at the moment. No, still waiting for the injured player in the background. 7 points to 5.
Yeah, Wellington College pretty much back at still full strength as opposed to Streamer missing 2 players. So it's as best as you're going to get with the conditions at hand. But as you know now, it's going to be decision making down to the captains where they want to put the ball, and it's all just going to be field position second half.
And Charisma Faitala is one of the Wellington College captains, and he's back for just the second time today. What's unique about Charisma? Why, Phil, as a coach, do you select him as a leader of a group as opposed to others?
I coached him the last few years. I mean, we had him in the under-18 Centurions last year, and he was just devastating on counter-attack. Great off both feet, kicks off both feet, but very, very high IQ rugby player, and it's rare to find them at fullback. I think his addition to the back as well, in terms of his comms chat, when you're on defence, you got guys being called out by name and telling them to fill holes. It's so invaluable for their position, basically.
Good scrum by Wellington College. Dakin gets it out in time. Out to Cooper. Pressing forward, Silverstream. 12 away from the Wellington College try line. Here's Cooper again. Back out to Solomona. And they look to hold him up. There's another penalty advantage being played here. This directly in front of the post if they need it. Cooper fires at it again. Good charge here by Lafau. 2 metres short of the line. Here's Brown lunging forward. Wrapped up well there that time by Valitolu. And Matt Thomas brings it into proceedings and will come back for the penalty.
It was Strickland Rary who made an accidental high tackle. It was innocuous, but it was one of those seatbelt incidences.
That was great footwork from Solomon, and they're identifying now that it's very hard to tackle with your feet set in these conditions, and footwork are going to draw these penalties every day of the week.
So Silverstream have indicated the shot at goal, and it's going to be Fletcher Cooper taking the penalty attempt. 55 points in the Premiership so far. Make that 50. With 3 tries and 20 conversions this season for Fletcher Cooper in the Premiership. Strikes it well and straight through. And so Silverstream are back in the lead. 8 points to 7 with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half.
That's the World Cup final score, and it'll feel like the World Cup final for these boys. This is a real slog in these conditions. Ollie, you know this field well. What can Wellington College do in the second half to utilise these tricky elements?
We've seen Silverstream's strength has been those nice little kicks down the wing, and it's the ball's holding up, so there's no worry about it going dead. So that could be an option as well. But just holding on the ball in hand, Wellington College look good with ball in hand, and so just trying to minimise those saves. Don't push things too much.
Secured at the restart by Zach McGurran. Outside their own 22. Here's Manu rumbling forward. Brought down by Webster in the tackle. Back to Cooper. Ooh, that's been charged there that time by Falitolu. And picked up again by Silverstream. Loose pass. As it just starts to get scrappy there into the middle of the field. Unfortunately, there was a knock on there by Wellington College, and it's going to be a Silverstream scrum. 8 metres away from halfway centre field. And Ollie Mickey, you've refereed many such a first 15 traditional. As a referee, what's different preparing for a first 15 traditional compared to a normal game of rugby?
I think the traditional elements sort of very similar to preparing for a top-level Premier game, but obviously today the field's been turned around, we've got the broadcast here, the boys on the terraces. That atmosphere is something that we don't often have a lot of in Wellington College rugby, so it's fantastic for the big crowd to be here, and that's a huge change in terms of the setup for Matt and his team today.
Here's Cooper, kicks it down. And it's been knocked back down there by Wellington College. Kicked downfield by David Teal. And William Davis just looks like he's walked out of the shower, because the amount of rain that is just coming down here at Wellington College is extremely heavy now. Running it forward is Brown.
Caught by Hopkins, 10 short of halfway. Solomona so busy in this game.
It's a minefield out there at the moment. That field is just chewing up quickly. Here's Cooper. Wrapped up well that time there is Abraham Smith. And Matt Thomas double blasted the whistle. Looks like he's coming over to his assistant referee Charlie Harris here, Ollie.
Yeah, potentially could have been a foul play issue. A couple of high tackles for Wellington College and still staying high, so they will need to be careful.
Something to address quite a lot there, Phil, at the moment. They've been pinged a bit, not only for offsides, but high tackles.
Yeah, I mean, it's the other side of having high effort at ruck area. You was going to play close to the line and possibly give away penalties, but both captains been called in here. It's very strange. It was actually Shea Boucher who put a 50-metre punt down the line and found the touch, but Will Davis, intelligent play, had to go quick on that. You couldn't set a line out 22 metres out, but it looks like Seb Hopkins in trouble.
That's a red!
It's a red card. It didn't look like he did much against Zach McGarren there. It looked like a pretty run-of-the-mill tackle, but not afforded a replay. And, I mean, if anything, leadership's going to have to take charge here, and Wellington's going to have to adjust.
Well, that's a sensation. Last year it was Solomona. Seb Hopkins, 3 tries against Rongotai last Wednesday, has been sent off.
And Ollie Mickey, the call there is for kicking.
That is a huge moment in this game. It must have been something that had happened on Charlie's side in the ruck and called in to Matt Thomas. So, yeah, a huge moment. Wellington College down to 14 for 20 minutes. And a front rower as well, and a player of Seb's talent, is a huge moment in this match.
You're going to need someone to throw the ball in the line out, so I think a lever will make his way onto the field next set piece, and they may have to drop a winger.
So crashing forward is Manu. Silverstream played with the extra man at the moment. 20-minute red card. Here's Cooper. Stretching out wide. Wrapping around the ankles, but play on is the call from the assistant referee, Charlie Harris. Into the action early. Big hit that time there by Swolger, but the arm's out again by Matt Thomas against Wellington College. Cooper kicks it through into the 22. And knocked on there by Silverstream. And Matt Thomas will come back for the penalty. And it's another double blast to the whistle.
Yeah, and I think this will be a warning now for repeated infringements. Wellington College have been towing the line closely. High tackles and offsides mainly. And the last thing that Wellington College need is to go down to 13 now. They're already down at 14. So they need to be careful. They've got to get through to half-time, get through the next 40 seconds. But Silverstream will want to score here going into half-time.
Well, there's a debate about whether they take a shot or a line-out drive. This is traditional rugby. Conservative options perhaps more advisable today, especially given they will have a one-man advantage for 20 minutes. But this is 2025. Bold, brazen rugby by Silverstream.
Yeah, great tactics there. They don't have a hooker on the field, so you're going to take the line out, and hopefully they're going to lack a defender on that blind side.
So line out time for St. Pat's Silverstream in these closing seconds of the first half. Riley Brown with the line out throw. In away from the line. Good at the front. No one defending there for McGurran. McGurran brought down too short of the line. Under pressure now. Looking to turn and twist. Wellington College defence pushing them back. Dakin reaching in. Out to Cooper. Still got the ball in hand.
Wellington College won't want to give away a penalty here.
Here we are. Abraham Smith crashes into Sims. As that rain just continues to be torrential here at Wellington College. Here's Heftueval. Change of direction again to Cooper. Now out to Solomona. Skip pass out. And try time for Silverstream. And they head into half-time in the lead.
Well, that was wonderful play by Tuifel. He was held up in midfield, but he managed to pivot and distribute. Nimble hands from the loose head prop. And then because Wellington College are short a defender, it was a simple draw-on pass for the capitalisation of the 2-on-1 overlap. Phil, you called it the line-out, but there was a variation at the front which caught Wellington napping. Fletcher Cooper went for a wander. He ventured about 720 degrees, but then he regrouped, recomposed himself, and Silverstream reloaded and scored what could be the most decisive try of this game.
Yeah, these are the possible running interference penalties that rugby union doesn't get, but they're definitely hammered in the NRL. Seeing Fletcher Cooper being able to reload there after going for his first option. Coming back this way, I was really impressed with Elijah Solomon. He basically beat both tacklers and could have gone himself, but was able to free the pass in these conditions, and they score in the corner.
So Cooper with the conversion attempt. Lines us up and just short. So at half-time, the score will remain 13 points to 7 here on Traditional Day. And plenty to ponder in the second half, particularly for Wellington College, Phil.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a momentum shift here. You're going to be down to 14 men. I think they do replace them after 20 minutes, if I'm not wrong there, Ollie. So they'll just need to basically weather the storm. I think Stream there have actually just, as Adam Julian mentioned before, can join their defence, decide to go upfield in the piston formation and stop throwing the ball around until that last phase there. But Ollie, these conditions are kind of drawing these penalties. There's some high tackle advantages because of footwork. There's the pressure at counter ruck at ruck time. How do you think Wellington College cut their penalty count down?
It's a very different game to what either of these teams have played this season. They've been involved in some high-scoring matches, and that's probably leading to the mistakes that Wellington College in particular are making at the moment. They've just got to go back to basics, Wellington College. Get low. Don't contest too much at the ruck. Take the opportunities when they present themselves and just weather the next 15 or so minutes because they're in this contest, but with 14 men, anything is possible for Silverstream, particularly getting into the second half.
Well, let's have a bit of a breather here on Huddy Sports half-time. Silverstream ahead, 13 points to 7.
Is that what we call kick?
Welcome back, folks. Half-time coming to an end. Plenty to ponder for Wellington College. They're down to 14 for at least the next 17 minutes. And Adam Julian, Silverstream will be happy in the position they're in.
Well, they will be, but let's recall Archie Sims' sideline conversion, how crucial that might be. Cooper's missed 2 shots for goal. Silverstream's 6-point lead doesn't really reflect the dominance they've had in the first half. And there's a long restart by Wellington College and some field position to begin the second stanza. Phil, you're the coach among us. What are you saying to each team at halftime?
Well, first of all, what a fantastic kickoff. That's exactly what you want to start the second half. You're down here now, and Silverstream under a little bit of pressure. I think at halftime, Wellington College just have to hold the ball for long periods of time, not throw the ball around anymore. We're down 14 men, and we need to stay in the middle of the field and piston our way up. We do have the wind in our face, and we just need to be down that end of the field. It's all about field position now for both teams.
Now, Ollie turned into J. Edgar Hoover at halftime. He's been examining some footage from the red card. What are your thoughts?
It's an unfortunate accident from Seb Hopkins. He's just got the player of the head of the ball carrier in that last tackle on the wing, and Charlie and Matt have decided head contact and to go with red card. So, yeah, unfortunate for Wellington College, but they'll just have to see out this next 15 or so minutes with 14 men.
It's important to emphasise it wasn't foul play. It was not a malicious attack by Seb Hopkins. It was an accidental collision, foot to head, and the referees' senior panel have decided it's worthy of red card sanction. That'll be discussed after the game, but back to Brad Hudson.
And a penalty there. Looks like hands in the ruck there, Ollie Mickey.
It is, and just continue on for that first half. We spoke about going into half-time. Wellington College just need to stop contesting. They're obviously wanting to disrupt Stream ball, but while they're playing with 14, they just need to go zero ruck it. Just let Stream play. They're not going to go far with the field and the condition it is. So just take things easy for the next 15 or so minutes, and then get their 15th man back on. And then they can start to go back after Stream, because they're also on a warning for repeated infringement, so they don't want to go down to 13.
So Riley Brown to feed in this line out the try scorer just before half-time. Play on is the call from Matt Thomas, and here's Silverstream, ball in hand, centre field, crashing up his Manu. They're 13 at St. Pat's Silverstream this year. Here's Fletcher Cooper, loose pass. I mean, a chase back there was Tuival. And here we go! Wellington College have it with Shea Boshier. He needs the support. And it arrives just in time. And the arms out against Silverstream. And here's Faulkner. Hiding out to Sims. Centre field. With Strickland ready. Looks for the fend. Gives it out to Teo. Oh, great pass out to Charisma Faitala. He needs one to beat. Been slid down. He managed to keep inside. But we'll come back for the penalty advantage. Matt Thomas had Silverstream off their feet at that breakdown.
Great chase and tackle by Elijah Solomona, but Silverstream's coaches will be infuriated by their play there. They just lamely shuffled the ball to midfield. High risk 2-pass option when a kick would have been better. Remember, Wellington College doesn't have a hooker, or at least their starting one. So bang that ball inside their half and pressure. Instead, they've meekly surrendered possession, and now they've conceded a penalty.
Hiram Beefham decides to crash it into the Silverstream defence. 10 metres inside the 22 now for Wellington College. Making good metres, 5 away now. This is what the doctor ordered. Obviously getting the message at half-time from their coaches. Here's Kamoto, they got the advantage again. Silverstream defence being watched by their coaching staff. You can see there in the background. Here's Archie Sims kicking it through. Tries to regather. And Fletcher Cooper comes up with the ball. But will come back for the penalty.
Well, here's an interesting call. This is a gift 3 points. Wellington College don't have their starting hooker, but a scrum in this part of the field. Zacadius Schwalger off the back, big blindside, tap and said. Kamoto scored the first try. He struggles to within a metre. Good tackle by Dakeson. And there's a fumble at the ruck. Well, again, some panic by both teams early in the second half, Phil.
Yeah, I think the ref was probably unsighted there. Didn't look like a knock-on. However, yeah, the option taking here looked like Wellington College just need to calm down. With penalty advantage, it's probably not the option you want to take, Archie. You actually want to try and score a try and just instead of trying to kick the ball through and take the penalty back. Otherwise, you just throw it forward and pretend to knock it on. But here, Silverstream right under their post, probably the worst place to try and exit. They're under a lot of pressure here in Wellington College, starting to find their momentum.
Lost his time off here as looks like some substitutions could be happening.
Yeah, Wellington College will be substituting a player so that their replacement hooker can come on. And so Noah Oliva will have come on. It looks like Fraser Lindsay is the man to go off. And we're probably getting into interesting territory where Noah might be staying on depending on how long's left on this red card, and it will be Fraser returning potentially. But Wellington College back to a full 8 in the forwards.
Sounds like Darren Shand in Dunedin.
Remember that game very well.
Evidently, Fraser Lindsay didn't touch the ball in the first 35 minutes, and now he's been dragged. There was great remorse yesterday when the great Stu Wilson died. 1983, third test, All Blacks, British Lions in Dunedin. It was so cold, Bernie Fraser designed himself a wetsuit to conceal underneath his All Black jersey to keep warm in expectation he wouldn't touch the ball.
Good old days off Athletic Park after the reset at scrum time. Axel Dakin with the ball on hand. Wellington College with the strongest scrum in this traditional. They'll look to try and come up trumps here, but comes out in time for Dakin. Out to Cooper, who banks us down over the 22. Underneath it is Charisma Faitala. Looks to get around Smith. He does extremely well. Hanging around the ankles there by Lockie Jackson. Here's Jet Robinson. He's had a blinder of a season. As Jet Robinson really is growing as this season has come on. Here's Charisma again. Passed out to Teal. They're 10 away from the line now, and it's another penalty against Silverstream. And Ollie, talk us through this one.
Yeah, sternum tackle that time from Silverstream. And so just like we saw Wellington College in the first half, Silverstream just creeping up tackle height as Wellington College kick to the southern touchline. Some substitutions being made, but Wellington College to have a line out, about 5 metres out.
Oliva's on the field. Phil, tell us about him. He's a very crucial figure in the game now.
Yeah, son of well-known Charles Oliva, well-known manager and coach around the Wellington region. He'll be looking to make an impact here, particularly at scrum time, particularly at line-out time. There have been a number of line-out drive tries the last few weeks where Wellington College has been very strong. Let's see if they can get this in cleanly here and get their feet set.
Oliva with the throw, secured by Robinson. They put the ball down into the drive. Silverstream rushing up, but Wellington College getting the numbers. And now they have to use it now. Faulkner reaching it in. Slow coming as he passes it out to Archie Sims. Centre field with Davey Teal. Skips around the first tackler. Brought down 8 away from the line. Wellington College looking to snuff for a try. Comes out to Shea Boshier! Boshier's in the corner! No, the flag of Charlie Harris has come up. And Shea Boshier nearly getting its 4th try of the season, but we've got the penalty for Wellington College.
That was a save by Lockie Jackson of vital importance. Shea Boshier.
Try's been awarded! Wellington College, strike back, and it is Drew Vaitolu who has scored.
Yeah, a number of penalties here taking their place. Silverstream under a massive amount of pressure. Shea Boshier probably showing some frustration, but they're at the right end of the field now. Exactly what we said. Field position is going to lead to points, and as time ticks over, they'll get an extra man back. So this will build momentum for Wellington College going into the second half.
And how bizarre that a red card often galvanises the team that receives it. In last year's game, Silverstream actually scored 20 unanswered points when they were reduced to 14 men. Wellington College now with a riposte try after that blow just before half-time by Riley Brown. Silverstream's defence there too, Ollie, guilty of not being alert. They weren't aware of the possibility of a quick tap, and they paid the price.
Absolutely, and they should have been aware. Wellington College are playing with the same intensity and wanting to play at speed, just like Silverstream did in the back half of that first half. And Archie Sims off the post, but a much-needed try for Wellington College.
Well, that's a moment in the game, Ollie. Archie Sims would kick 200 in a row from there without a miss. That is what pressure and traditional day does.
Obviously, conditions playing a part too. Getting your plant foot down and trying to keep it set is another thing. Archie gets plenty of practice in, but yeah, probably a run-of-the-mill kick he'd like to have back again. Fletcher Cooper probably looking to kick off deep here, as field position is the key to this game at the moment.
Here's Cooper with the restart.
Oh, that's casual.
Oh, and that's in front. It's one of those unfortunate ones where you pick the ball up in front of the person that stopped it. It's a penalty for St. Pat's Silverstream. And what a gift here for Fletcher Cooper to kick this into touch.
He thinks he's Ronaldo. What are you
Falitolu
doing?
had his hands in the air there. He knew what was on. You always teach stop the ball with your feet in these conditions. Yeah, unfortunately, Jack Robinson, all work. Didn't quite realise. He'll look to make up for it here.
So Silverstream with the line out. 5x5 Eastern touch line. And Riley Brown. One try to his name. And it's been secured by Kamoto and Messi there for Silverstream. So they get out of jail free card here for Wellington College. Faulkner fires it back down to Sims. And Sims with a great kick under pressure, and he was taken late.
Look late and high.
That's really silly by Solomona. Just dumb football.
Solomon being penalised. And penalty here for Wellington College.
He's the captain too. He's got to know better than that.
As Ollie says, you know, traditional day brings out the height. There's a lot of people here, a lot of eyes on the footy. You want to put your best foot forward. Elijah's a very good player in his own right, just got that wrong.
So, line out for Wellington College. 2 outside the 22. Bankman touchline here. 13 points to 12. Just over 10 minutes gone in the second half. And the torrential rain we had at the first half has just eased off now to a bit of light drizzle. Short for a lever into the hands of Iono. Low coming here for Faulkner. He's barking at Matt Thomas, and they get the penalty again. Not rolling away is the call. And look for them to plug this corner here, Phil.
As Wellington College did in the first half, Ollie Mickey said it right. You want to pull back your ruck pressure a little bit, maybe just go straight to a defender and relieve these penalties. However, momentum now completely in Wellington College's hands as Sim goes to the corner. And they look to possibly drive this one over. About 10 metres out, maybe not a drive. But they look to build some phases here and take some points.
They've also got Julius Toimata on now in jersey 17. He's dynamic when he comes on, Phil.
Yeah, he lifts his legs very, very, very strong. He's a nephew of Tamasi Palu, actually, who's here today in the Old Boys Pavilion. Lineup gets set. Let's see what Wellington College can keep this up this time. They're moving forward.
And driving forward. There it is at the back. It comes down. Faulkner gets it out in time. They stretch it out to the back line. Sims. Oh, it's been knocked backwards. Play on is the call. And the hands are Strickland ready as the rain comes down heavy again here at the graveyard. Faulkner bundled back. Gives it out to Robinson. He's brought down. Centre field. 5 inside the 22. Webster crashing forward. Silverstream trying to get over the top, but it's extremely slippery out there now. Toimata. And unfortunately, to the disappointment of that side of the field, Matt Thomas comes back.
The rain has intensified. 46 of the 93 games between St. Pat Silverstream and Wellington College for the Ken Gray Memorial Trophy have been decided by 7 points or less.
Knock on there by Wellington College, resulting in a scrum here for Silverstream, Phil?
I think Wellington College there, I mean, they had their fair share of attack then. They were moving forward. I think probably throwing the ball around, missing your second 5 and trying to hit your centre in these conditions is not what's called for. I think they probably just need to keep it short, maybe to run some cuts underneath and make footwork be an issue for Silverstream.
No, Dakin fires it back out to Cooper. And Cooper with plenty of time and space doesn't get the distance that he wished for. And so Wellington College will have a line out 10 outside the 22 Embankment touchline. And Wellington College looking to restart again, Phil.
Yeah, they have to start again. I mean, like I said before, you want to bring guys underneath. You want to change footwork. You want to test these defenders like Silverstream did in the first half. You want high tackle penalties, and by adding footwork is what's going to do that. You can't throw the ball around in these conditions. You are chasing the game, and we're still probably about 4 minutes away from getting a man back.
Secured by Kamoto out to Faulkner. Oh, a bit of a juggle that time there by Strickland ready, but he hangs on. Hard to see the numbers now as this mud continues to tear up. Here's Boshier! Boshier offloads it out to Charisma. He can't hang on to it. Ball's rolled into the 22, and the arm's out. It's a forward pass advantage being played here for St. Pat's Silverstream. Dakin back out to Cooper, who will bang this down the field. The advantage is over. And here's Archie Sims. Sims finds some open pasture there. And that is an excellent kick. That's a mighty 50-22. And Archie Sims comes up trumps.
Incredible kick from Sims. He's not the first time he's done this. Faitala saw the space and got the ball to Sims as fast as he basically could then. Well done to catch that on the full. And let's just see if Wellington College can get this started again.
Now they pick and go. Looking to score their second try of the second half. And unfortunately it's been knocked on to Matt Thomas. And Silverstream will have a scrum. 5 outside their own line.
Yeah, Wellington College going quickly there and probably didn't need to. They've kicked a brilliant 50-22. Archie Sims kicked 3 or 4 in the wind last week against Rongotai. That one just outstanding though. But took it quickly. Have now coughed up possession to Silverstream. And it looks like Wellington College might be returning to 15.
And how well have they done? Absent of a player, they scored a try, almost seized the lead. One thing that has changed too is the impact of the bench. Wellington College, Taumata Oliva have added noticeable vibrance and punch. Silverstream haven't really employed their reserves yet. They have a number of injuries from previous games. Bailey Ross on debut on the bench. Mason Harris, not the biggest name. But when do they go to their reserves, Phil? And what do you know about some of the Silverstream replacements?
Well, they're dynamic forwards, but I think conditions are making this an even playing field today. Wellington College probably need a little bit more patience down here. I think Silverstream will just do anything they can to get a turnover here and hold them out and try and get to a decent exit. Fletcher Cooper slicing the ball that time, probably not his usual distance, but Wellington College here probably lacking a little bit of patience. They're only chasing the game by 1 point. All they need is possession down this side of the field, and it turns into points. Silverstream here under a little bit of pressure. Young Fletcher Cooper probably trying to rally his side now.
Kamato has been replaced for Wellington College. They put the push on. And here is Cooper. Unfortunately, again, under real pressure. Couldn't make the distance he wanted to again. So Wellington College will have the line out. 5 inside. Silverstream's 22.
Well, these traditional games are about attrition, valour, courage, making a name for yourself. And I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the family of Matthew Wallace. Matthew was head boy of Silverstream in 1998. He donated the trophy for the Palmerston North game. He was a father of 5, and unfortunately he passed away the other day. Thoughts and prayers to Matthew Wallace, our dear friend Sektari Feedham.
Line out stolen by Silverstream. Now they look to run it out. Here's Abraham Smith with the ball in hand, trying to get around Boshier. And Boshier scrags him around the ankles. Silverstream at 15 outside their own 22. Pressing forward here again is McGurran. Jersey 17 on the field is Mahai on for Silverstream. Cleanest jersey on the field.
Finn Leighton, the mullet man.
He's a man that can make things happen as Finn Leighton. Got a cracker of a try against Scots College last year.
This is only the second time Silverstream have been inside the Wellington half. In the whole second half, they botched that line out. That was a really good kick by Cooper. Leighton forced to scramble.
And it's a wrestle there now. 5 away from halfway. 10 in from the embankment touchline. The ball comes back down to Sims. Sims decides to bang it down. Secured well there by Fletcher Cooper. Here's William Davis. Again, good metres, but unfortunately hasn't found touch, and unfortunately that's been knocked on by Wellington College there, Phil.
Yeah, contestable kicks now making their play in the game. Most teams, as you see internationally, kick the ball a whole lot more than they run it here in First 15 rugby, but they've gone 3 phases now and putting the ball up. It is a lottery to catch it, and unfortunately there I think Shea Bashir just kind of knocked that on.
How about a Gary Owen from the scrum?
Oh, we'll lead the points, I'll tell you that much. It's bucketing down here now, just like it was last week. As we always say, good luck getting the train home. But just take this opportunity also to mention to a well-known rugby player and rugby personality out in Porirua who passed away last night, Adam Vardy. Was an S&C coach for a lot of the Wellington College boys, Les Webster, Journey Thomas. He'll be sorely missed. They were the first people to sort of ask me, who can I do S&C with? And Adam Vardy was the first person I came up with. He was very well known around the region. He's going to be missed by his family.
Played for the parliamentary team as well too, Phil, didn't he? Here we go. St. Pat's Silverstream crashing through. Swelga slowing down the advancement of the Catholics. Here's Cooper. Back out to Manu. And
He's
Leighton.
been good today, Manu.
He's been outstanding for Silverstream. Wrap around quickly. Solomona brought down. Dakin having to reach in these terribly muddy conditions here. Here's Hev Tuival. Pressures into Hiram Beetham. And Wellington College have got the penalty. And it's that man there, Phil.
John Schmogger. Zacchaeus Schmogger, apologies, Zacchaeus. But he put a massive tackle in there just before on Mai. And really ramping up his energy now. Turnover time, these turnovers will be crucial. It's a 1-point game, and now it's all about field position. Sims can drive Stream back into their half.
Well, Archie Sims kicked a drop goal to win the game last year.
Yes, last year, 27 points to 24 was the score on traditional day at Silverstream. Wellington College coming up trumps. Both these teams met in last year's final. Silverstream that day winning 31 points to 12. Out at Jerry Collins Stadium, played in probably similar weather conditions. And our cameraman James Willits is doing well to keep the water off the lens. It is extremely wet out there, folks.
It's like Javan Hunt's made his way onto the field now. He's the son of Tui Hunt, a well-known Upper Hutt rugby player, playing in the same position, playing at hooker.
Tui still plays the St. Pat's Old Boys game as well too. Here we go, Wellington College. Secure it from line out time. Centre field with Strickland ready. And Faulkner finds Sims. Building nicely again, Wellington College, just crashing into the Silverstream defence. For the territory in possession in the second half, they'll be hoping they can come away with further points. Now here they go, building nicely again. Not sure if there was much arms in that tackle. Bit flat-footed, but charging, gaining some good metres. 5 metres inside the 22. Hard to tell, the field's has ripped up that white line. Here's Wellington College still charging forward. The tackle of Hunt being involved in there. And here's Vitala. 5 metres inside the 22. Building nicely. Here's Swolger. And they swarm around him quickly like a pack of bees to slow down his advancement. Now they're building nicely. Here's Finn Leighton. And Finn Leighton wrestling forward, but Silverstream looking to hold him up. Knees on the ground. And so they have to release him.
It's Tuangalu.
Looks away from the line now. This rain is extremely torrential here at the graveyard. Now the pass has gone back towards the 22. The players starting to slip around. And Faulkner firing back. Big charge through.
This is epic rugby, folks. 20 phases,
High
and now
tackle.
an advantage.
And they've got the advantage here, Wellington College. This directly in front of the post if they need it. They come back to Sims. He's going to go for a drop goal. But it's been charged down. Just trying to get 2 drop goals in a row.
Now, well done, Wellington College. They put a lot of phases in play there. There was some high-risk pass, but they managed to hang on. The conditions that deteriorated even worse than they were last week. And Sims now has a chance to go ahead in the game, and this will prove to be vital for Wellington College.
That was the best attack of the match. Side to side, direct carries, finding weak shoulders. Patience, it did break down temporarily, but they regrouped and won the penalty. And had Archie Sims kicked that drop goal, we might have been breaking into split ends in the commentary box.
Whether he gets his kick or not, the exit's going to be very interesting in both teams. It's going to prove vital to how this game actually plays out.
So Archie Sims in the pressure cooker. Nice and easy as you like for Archie Sims. 15 plays 13. And we've got it roughly just under about 12 minutes left in this traditional. And still anyone's game, Adam Julian.
Well, there is a discrepancy between the Huddy Sports clock and the official scoreboard clock of 4 minutes. The scoreboard clock is showing 62 minutes, the Huddy Sports clock 58 minutes.
I think they forgot to stop during the injury breaks, Adam.
They need an official timekeeper running it, Brad.
Well, it's funny how the official scoreboard clock hurries up when the home team's in the lead.
What are you suggesting there, Adam?
The kick from Wellington College safely into touch. Silverstream going for the quick throw-in. Out to Davis.
Half here.
Managed to beat the first defender. Brought down further away from halfway. Here's Cooper. Been kept quiet this second half, hasn't he, Phil?
Yeah, he has. I think the attack is pretty much just going to be this now for the next 5 minutes. I mean, if anything, it's a kickable game. A penalty wins the game. You just need to be the right end of the field. I don't think Fletcher will feature as much. There's a great run down the sideline here by Manu.
Oh,
massive
he put his foot in
offload.
touch.
Oh, no. Unfortunately for Manu, he gained good metres, but his foot found the touch line. The flag of Ethan Jefferson comes up.
Yeah, unfortunately, you probably just want to find your front and just set another ruck. It's the teenage testosterone, as we call it. They will throw the ball around. There are highlight reels to be made.
How does Charlie Harris actually know that's the sideline? It's completely vanished, the white paint that existed an hour ago.
Ethan was just wanting to get involved. Look how clean his jersey is.
Well, cameraman's doing well to keep the raindrops off our lens. Wellington College just short of halfway. Rio Corsac is on the field. It comes down to Cooper inside his own 22. Decides to run it out. Kicked it downtown. Back to Archie Sims. Has to run back and get the ball from his own 22. Bit of
That was a good kick
distance
by Cooper.
Win for Silverstream there.
The temptation might have been to run that, but he held his nerve. He saw the space, and it's slippery conditions. Sims stumbled momentarily, and that might have contributed to the relative lack of distance.
So Riley Brown with the line out. Solid first half, and that's not straight. You can see that any day of the week, that one.
Big moment there. A win for Silverstream in the possession, but a mistake at line-out time. Wellington College once again have the ball in just outside of Silverstream's half.
Coming into 8 to play now, all these moments are massive. As they say, pressure tells tales, and that tells a big one. Sims is going to drive them back into their half, and if Wellington College can take some points here, it could very well be a two-possession game.
It's a spiral bomb.
Safe pair of hands, Fletcher Cooper. At Davis. Oh! Charged.
Gee, I would have been tempted to put down a scrum there, Phil. Wellington College, not really in penalty danger. They could have taken another minute and then kicked it.
Yeah, exactly. Could have killed another minute, but if anything, Silverstream are back in their own half now, trying to build phases. I think Fletcher Cooper and Will Davis be trying to marshal the troops around, get them into a position where they can put some points on the board. They are playing catch-up rugby now.
Good metres gain there by Solomona. On the 10-metre line now for St. Pat's Silverstream. Here's Manu again. Here's Cooper again, looking to give it out to Abraham Smith. Oh, loose pass gone backwards. Tied it up well by Jackson. And it's still going here at St. Pat's Silverstream. Gaining good metres. They kick it infield. Wellington College tracing back into their 22. Sims tidies up to scraps. He's under pressure from the arriving Silverstream players. Campbell in there to support Sims. And Corsaga just easing it nicely as he lines it up for Swolga, but it's been turned over. And what has he ruled there, Ollie Mickey?
I think he might have been timed out. I think Matt Thomas has called use it. Rio hasn't used the ball in time. And so it's a turnover scrum to Silverstream. A massive call. 7 minutes to go on traditional day.
It's the Ken Gray Cup equivalent of a Bernard Foley.
So, this scrum will be 15 away from the eastern try line. As we just have time off here as the heavens open up again.
Conditions really deteriorating here. Much different to last Wednesday here at the Graveyard. Wellington College is far more exposed to the northerly than it is the southerly. And as the wind has changed over the last couple of days, the field is very heavy, lots of water on top. And that wind playing a big part. But a big moment here. Stream in their huddle.
And in front of the terracists, Glenn Denham, the headmaster of Wellington College, demanding the terrace provide more support. What a wonderful headmaster this guy is. Look at that for commitment and passion. Soaking wet, but still upholding such pride in the school.
Yes, as player gets underway again, I think Rio Corsaker probably just saying to the referee couldn't quite hear him in these conditions. It's quite believable. Ashton Steer did great there. I mean, he made a massive break down that sideline in trying conditions, was able to put the kick through and put Wellington College under pressure now. Wellington College need to do everything they can to hold them out because points are very, very hard to come by today.
It's a hailstorm.
As the stormy weather approaches in these closing minutes of the traditional for 2025. It is 15 points to 13. Wellington College ahead of St. Pat's Silverstream. And it's been fed in by the Catholics. Solid platform. And now it comes out to Cooper. Out to the second five. And Lafau. Wellington College pleading for the turnover. Not coming though. Here's Heath Tuival. Gaining good metres. Metres short of the line now. Now Wellington College have to keep them out. How important is that turnover been? Now do they go to the blind side? They've got numbers here, but great defence by Wellington College. Held up and they pushed them over the line. And the home side come up trumps. Great reward for the defence there.
Yeah, outstanding defence from Wellington College. Not just to make the tackles, but to remain disciplined, remain onside, keep their tackle height low. There's outstanding defence. They're not out of the woods yet. 5 metre defensive line-outs. They'll want to win this and get the ball downtown.
They were right in front of the sticks there, Silverstream. There was definitely a chance of a drop kick. It's a tough kick, but it was on.
Knocked on at line-out time by Wellington College. So Silverstream have the ball back.
Hands on the ball, yes.
And who's come up trumps there, Phil?
Schwalger again.
Schwalger again. That's two massive moments in the game.
And boys, he pumped up. Does this game mean something to him? I mean, energy like that just lifts your troops. They get out of their half now, but they need to get down the right end of the field. I think Silverstream there probably could have kept going towards the post. There was always a little bit of a high-risk option to try and hit their wing. There was no space out there in these conditions. And you'd back them to get over with their forward pack if they keep picking and going.
Silverstream haven't scored a point in the second half. That is a remarkable statistic given they had a one-man advantage from the red card for 20 minutes.
It's very interesting. The wind generally coming from left to right, so it's a northerly, norwesterly, but all the rugby, both halves, has been played down the driveway end, and unfortunately another not straight, this time against Wellington College.
Tapped quickly by Tuival. They crash forward through Solomona. And Wellington College having to put in the defence again. Less than 5 minutes to go. Dakin fires it out to Cooper, who's going to line up a drop goal.
He's kicked it!
He's got it!
They'll write a Bible verse about that! It was wonky, it was ugly, but it was a priceless three!
Well, last year it was Archie Sims that came up with the drop goal. This year it's Fletcher Cooper. 16-15.
A bit of a lacklustre chase there on their kick. They probably didn't believe he could get it either.
That's an astonishing kick.
Pay no
by
attention to
Fletcher
the scoreboard on field. It is 16-15, make no doubts about it. Davis takes the ball in his own half. Stream need to get out here.
Well, Campbell trying to reach in and get the ball. But Silverstream get enough back there in time. Here's Cooper.
Oh, that's risky.
Risky play that could potentially be isolated. But they've managed to secure the pill. Here's Cooper. Kicks it up high. Finn Layton manages to knock it backwards, but Matt Thomas has ruled a knock on. And Finn Layton is not happy.
You probably get completely under the ball there. He was always chasing it, so it was always a high risk. In these conditions here, you'd always tell him to use their feet. Unfortunately there for Layton, but Stream get a reprieve. 3 minutes to go. They need to hang on to the pill here.
Well, Matt Thomas has signalled 4 minutes. 4 fingers up in the air. So we've got 4 minutes to go in this traditional. And Silverstream have the scrum just outside the 22 centre field.
There's a little bit of space on the blind side here for Silverstream. They could potentially employ the winger, dribble the ball down the touchline, get close to the 22.
any play in their own half could lead to points. So it's high-risk football here at the moment, no matter who's in possession.
As the rain comes down again. Big push here by Silverstream. Comes back to Cooper. And he bangs this down the field. Wellington College inside their own 22. Fight Taylor.
That was touched.
That was touched, and so it's going to be line out for Wellington College.
Wellington College struggled at line-out time recently. They'll need to nail this one. We're under 3 to play now.
No pressure time here at Wellington College.
4
King
lead
Grey
changes
Guff on
in
the
the
line.
game.
4 lead changes. Secured, but Messi has come back. There's a quick no pass there for Strickland, ready, but he's done well. He's gained good metres. There's Rio Korsaka.
Slice.
It's a high
goodness
tackle!
me!
There might be the moment Wellington Cole needed. Their penalty advantage, they can play here.
So that could potentially be a yellow card as well.
Well, it has to be if they sent Hopkins off for the sake of consistency. It was accidental, but this could be trouble for Silverstream. Jimmy Lawler in the teapot position. He's going bananas on the terraces.
Luckily for that, because Les Webster turned into a quarterback there. He threw it about 5 metres forward. Wellington College now will need a lot of patience down the other end of the field. They'll need to win this line-out if they do go to this kick.
Well, the faithful here at Wellington College want Silverstream and the player in the bin. Matt Thomas has just given a warning.
I think Taylor LaFave just beaten by footwork there once again in these conditions. Left a lazy arm out there. Wasn't malicious.
And he's entitled to a lazy arm, Phil. He's been absolutely immense for Silverstream. He hasn't had a lot of rugby this year, but his carries and defence in these conditions, like Hercules, he's been awesome.
That's the sort of energy you want. You want a guy who wants to put the team on his back when the pressure's on, and that's what Chorus has done today. Likewise, as a Schwalger at the moment, the last 10 minutes, he's played out of his skin, trying to lift this side. Let's see if Wellington can get within a kickable penalty here.
Now they go short again, and they look to crawl it up. Osaka. Out to Strickland, really. They'll be looking to try and drive this up and get a penalty. Here's Swalger. Immense game by the number 8.
Hessam's got a drop goal on him.
We pulled out one last year. Can he do it again?
It's like they're not getting outside the 15s here. They're staying in the middle for that very reason.
Think about that kick that hit the post from close range. Good run by Robinson. Solomon are over the ball. Oh, Thomas had the whistle in his mouth. He withdrew it. Wellington College hit the short side.
Oh, it's been knocked down. There's a stream hand involved.
And they pull the kick through. But Matt Thomas blows his whistle. And we'll come back. And he's ruled a knock on against Silverstream. So it'll be a scrum for Wellington College.
Did he attempt to catch that, Ollie?
It's tough. It looks like he caught it in the tackle, but there was a downward motion. You've certainly seen similar charges sanctioned higher in professional rugby, but in this case, just a scrum, still Wellington College ball.
Important part of the game here. They need to stay in the middle of the field. They need to get to at least to the 22 to get in Sims's range in these conditions, but a kick will do it. They don't need to throw the ball around, nothing high risk.
Well, the worst of the weather arrives right at the end of the game. Wellington College scrum. Fed in as Silverstream put on the pressure. Comes back out. Here's Strickland ready. Building nice. He's got Campbell in support. At 10 away from the 22. Silverstream will just hope to not give away a penalty. Oh, Matt Thomas was having a wipe of his nose that time. Silverstream nearly getting over the top of the ball. But it's here for Wellington College as they gain the metres. As they approach the 22 now. They're centre field. The ideal position for Sims.
They need to go in twos.
They just need to look after this pill, do Wellington College. And they're building nicely. The pressure moments of traditional rugby. It's a penalty for Silverstream. And is that possibly enough for Silverstream to win back the Ken Gray Memorial Trophy? Ollie, talk us through that.
It looks like that will be the game.
And that is full time. And Silverstream, late in the piece with a drop goal to Fletcher Cooper, have come up trumps. 16 points to 15 here in the Ken Gray Memorial Trophy. And Adam Julian, It's what, unfortunately, traditional rugby does on King Grey Day.
The rivalry between Wellington College and St Patrick's College Silverstream is full of legendary characters. Some of those characters have become VCs, All Blacks, and even Prime Ministers. Today, Fletcher Cooper joined that illustrious club with a notoriously wobbly, ultimately famous drop goal that has sunk an incredibly brave Wellington College team in atrocious conditions. 44 Warriors out there should hold their heads high. They have produced a magnificent spectacle with 4 lead changes in very high pressure circumstances this afternoon. These two teams are the best teams in the Premiership. They will possibly meet again later in the season. Silverstream, the victors today, but perhaps not the last laugh in 2025. Phil Cartini.
No, these teams will definitely meet again. I think Stream can be count themselves very lucky there. That was an unforced error by Wellington College right in front of the post where they were making inroads in kickable territory. But Fletcher Cooper kicking himself into the history books today. What a player around the park he was today in these trying conditions, as was Archie Sims. Late surge here by Cicadia Schwager trying to inspire his team with a number of turnovers. Unfortunately, Wellington College falling just short, but these teams will meet again.
They certainly will. And final comment from Ollie Mickey.
A testing game, but worthy of this traditional fixture. No, I don't think any of us wanted either team to lose. Both played outstandingly well in these conditions. Some key moments for both teams, but in the end, it's St Pat Silverstream victorious. They take the King Grey Memorial Trophy from Wellington College, but certainly it will be a very interesting contest when these two teams very likely meet again, hopefully for the silverware in the final come August.
Many thanks to Adam Julian, Phil Cartini and Ollie Mickey for joining the broadcast today. Great work by our cameraman, James Willits, braving the elements. You've done a sterling job, son. This has been a Huddy Sports broadcast. Silverstream have won 16 points to 15 over Wellington College here on King Grey Memorial Day. Tune in at 8:30 tonight on the Huddy Hui as we interview Jack Gregg from the Porneki Rugby Club. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.
Blocked drains, leaky pipes, don't let plumbing problems sideline your day. Call the team, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Mike has been our sponsor since the very beginning. From quick fixes to full renovations, he's got the tools, the team and the know-how to get the job done right. First time, every time. Local, reliable and always on time. That's how Mike plays the game. Find Mike Pinfold at Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz 027 430 4351. Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. Also Google Mike Pinfold Plumbing and let the pros handle the flow.
Hi, Gavin Murphy here
And Cassie Murphy.
from G and Higton Funeral Directors.
Don't leave it up to someone else to tell your story. Do it now when you can enjoy being part of the conversation.
With a prepaid funeral, you can have music, readings and venue all chosen by you.
For your free funeral planning pack with everything you need to get started, go to our website at gnhickton.co.nz/pre-planning.
The Huddy Hui, Huddy Sports captivating sports show. The Huddy Hui covers Wellington Club Rugby as well as other sporting topics of debate. Tune in on YouTube during the rugby playing months as host Brad Hudson interviews rugby players and other sporting personalities across the Wellington region and the rest of New Zealand. Catch the Huddy Hui streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and wherever good yarns are heard. The Huddy Hui live on Huddy Sports. Here at Huddy Sports, we love a good game plan. And when it comes to travel, our go-to is Louise Reddy from New Zealand Travel Brokers. Whether it's a sports tour, a family break, or that bucket list trip, she'll get you there stress-free with all the best deals around. She's local, she's experienced, and she backs the game like we do, and she's a great supporter of Huddy Sports. Look up Louise Reddy at louisereddy.nztravelbrokers.co.nz or email louise@louise.reddy@newzealandtravelbrokers.co.nz. Travel smart and travel like a pro. As here on Huddy Sports, we're always wanting to keep our content free on YouTube. So the idea of sponsors, we can promote you on live stream, our social media pages and our website. It's good to support the local community and helps keep Huddy Sport free for all to watch. So if you're interested to helping Huddy Sports, go to huddysports.co.nz or to our email address, huddysportsnz@gmail.com. Ciao for now.